Okay, now we should take a moment and have a look at Photoshop's pencil and eraser tools. Now, what I've done here is I went and reset my brushes, by the way. I went all the way up to the brushes pull down here, up at the top, and I went to the brush flyout menu, and I went down to reset brushes. And Photoshop asked me if I wanted to, once again, append or simply replace. I clicked on OK to replace. And I also got a warning asking me if I wanted to save my brushes. I just clicked on no. You can save your brushes if you wanted to. Now, as far as the pencil and eraser tools go, a little bit of setup here before we really get going. The brush fun layer, I'm going to go and lock that guy down. I'm into the habit of locking layers that I don't want to edit. Probably a good habit to have, by the way. And I'm going to turn him off. And I'll go back to my color layer and unlock him, because that's the guy that I want to be painting on. And I'll also zoom in a little bit on my artwork here, something like this. Now, the pencil tool, let's start off with him. He's hidden underneath your brush tool. So click and hold on your brush tool, grab your pencil tool. You may want to increase your pencil size. You do this in the same way that you would with your brush tool. Just use your open and close square brackets to adjust his size. Or what you could do is you could come up to the options bar once again and either choose a preset pencil size or use this master diameter. What's funny is they give you a hardness slider here for the pencil tool, but it doesn't make a difference. The pencil tool is always going to give you hard edges regardless as to what you set for that hardness value. See how that works? So using the pencil tool is pretty much the same as using the paintbrush tool, except you're always going to get these hard edges. You can head up to the options bar and switch your blending mode if you want to use a different blending mode while you're creating your pencil strokes, if you like. You can certainly do that. I'll switch back to normal here, which is the default. You also have your opacity setting, the same as the brush tool as well. So you can paint with different levels of transparency here with the pencil tool if you like. And there's also this auto erase. I don't really use this, but I'll show you how this would work here. I'm going to turn on auto erase. I'll also set my opacity back to 100% here. Enter to lock that in. Now, how the auto erase works is if I start drawing with the pencil tool in some white space, it's just going to draw out pencil strokes as normal. No big deal. However, if I start clicking within a pencil stroke and start dragging, what it will do is it'll actually start painting using the background color. Isn't that strange? I don't really make use of this myself. I'm so used to using the X key on my keyboard to flip between my foreground and background colors. A great example of this would be painting our robot. Remember earlier where we had the dark gray and the light gray. So you can certainly use that to speed things up if you like. So there's your pencil tool, pretty straightforward. You might like them a little bit better than your brush tool because of that auto erase. I'm going to turn my auto erase off. And next up, I'm going to switch over to my eraser tool. So go ahead and grab the eraser tool. Same as always, use your square brackets to increase or decrease the size of your eraser. Click and drag to have at it inside your artwork if you want to start erasing away areas of your image. This will work on either brush strokes and pencil strokes like I have here, or on actual images like photographs and things like that. So up at the top, again, I've got another drop down here, same story as always. A neat effect might be to use these special brushes to actually erase something like that. You can certainly have fun with that if you like. Or I have the mode pull down. So I can use my brush, my pencil, or a block, which is really just a square. That's all there is to that. So you can certainly choose which eraser mode you want to use. Normally myself, I just stick with brush, and I don't want to be erasing with a leaf here, so I'm going to go back to a default brush here. I have the opacity and the flow, as always. So pretty easy stuff to work with the pencil and the eraser. The eraser is very handy when you are working along inside your artwork and you accidentally paint outside of those black lines. So I can just erase away those areas. That's why earlier I wasn't really being very careful when I was painting, because I knew that I had the eraser tool at my disposal. So for example, I'll hit the B key on my keyboard. That switches me to my pencil tool. I'll hit Shift B. That switches me to my color replace tool. Don't want that guy. Shift B again. There's my brush tool. I'll drop down my brush size. Start painting in this guy's shoulder here. Now I have a very soft brush selected here, so I'll use Shift and close square bracket on my keyboard, and that gives me a hard edge brush, and I'll decrease my brush size just a little bit here by tapping my open square bracket. Something like this. I'm sure you get the idea by now. use that space bar to pan down inside your image. But again, I'm not really being careful here. If I wind up doing something like this, I can just hit the E key on my keyboard for my eraser, make him a little bit smaller, and then just retrace around these black lines, of course going around the outside of the artwork here, something like this. So there's using your eraser tool in tandem with your brush tool.